Oh, one wish willow that oddly enough looks like a pencil. I think I know what I want to wish for. I wish for a different hat. Whoa! Hello and welcome to The Zero Show, the show where we talk about anything. Obsession is a horror movie that was released in May of 2026 and was directed by Curry Barker. The film follows Bear, a guy who wants to confess his love to his crush named Nikki. After failing miserably, he decides to use a one-wish willow and wish that Nikki would love him more than anyone in the world. The wish ends up working and they end up falling in love, or so it seems. We soon discover that the One Wish Willow made Nikki into a completely different version of herself and basically entombing the real version of her inside of her. The movie ends with Nikki coming back to herself after Bear thankfully dies. Anyways, I really do like Obsession. It's scary with what's on screen and with its overall theme. The acting is really good all around. And the fact that this movie was made with such a low budget and managed to make such a huge profit gives so much hope for other independent filmmakers. So yeah, Obsession is a really, really great movie. A modern horror masterpiece if I do say so myself. So why do so many people treat this movie like shit? Okay, I can totally understand this movie not being everyone's cup of tea, and that's perfectly fine, but oh my god, the number of people who just don't understand the themes of this movie is just too many to count, and it's just so aggravating. Like the shitty AI edits of some dude saving Nikki from Bear, or the obsession dance. I could go on all day about how both of these just piss me off, but that's not really the point of the video. The point of the video is to show that no one has misunderstood the themes of Obsession as badly as Alex Meyers. Alex Meyers is a movie reviewer who mainly tackles kids' movies but decided to review Obsession for some reason. And let me just say, it's really bad. There was so much backlash towards Alex that resulted in him making a really half-assed apology video and him deleting the review and the apology a few days later.
So first of all, I'm sorry if...
So how bad is the review? Well, let's talk about it.
Warning, this video is an attempt at a good faith, nuanced look at the fictional movie Obsession and the characters therein, which will probably upset some of you for some reason.
Right off the bat, he didn't even know how his review could offend people, even though he literally misinterpreted pretty much everything in this movie. And based off his apology video, I still don't think he knows how he could have offended people.
Now, I didn't make a lot of videos about horror stuff, but I mean, a semi-rom-com about a nerdy loser guy who gets the girl at the end. Well, this sounds like a nice, wholesome movie.
He claims that Obsession is a semi-rom-com, which is pretty bold for a movie where the love interest was forced into a relationship because of a wish, which is pretty fucking horrifying, but sure, semi-rom-com.
You're in every song I listen to.
Marching along as their song fills the air. Gummy bear.
Oh yeah, on top of misinterpreting pretty much everything in this movie, Alex Meyers isn't really that funny either.
So it's Wednesday night, which means trivia night, because Bear and his friends are super cool. The team is Bear, Ian, Nikki, and their other friend Sarah.
Yeah, I'm not really a big fan of how he interprets the characters in this movie with these little animations. Because why are Bear and Ian built like a blob, and Nikki and Sarah are more exaggerated with their body shape?
Yeah, so I'm putting in my 2 weeks.
Really?
Shit! God damn it!
Are you okay?
No, I just dropped my crystal necklace down the drain.
Oh, no, crystal necklace. Bear, get out while you still can. But then again, Nikki is a hot Latina, so one can only remain strong for so long.
I'm sorry if...
Yeah, well, they've been pretty popular since we put them out. You know, everybody wants a wish. Some people don't open them, but the people who do, you know, come back and complain.
Or it does work and it like ruins their lives.
Or they die or wish they were dead.
Ah, yes, the Millennial Special. Rather experienced myself. Also, you know, it's kind of funny that Bear is better at flirting with this girl here than he is with the girl he actually likes, which is such a real thing, by the way. Why does that happen?
He was just talking to the girl in a kind way? Yes, according to Alex Meyers, if you talk to a girl in a nice way, you're basically flirting with them.
Anything else?
I'll get a pina colada.
Pina colada?
Don't make fun of my drink. What?
I like a man who's in touch with his feminine.
Hey, whoa, didn't ask your opinion, Nikki. So here we get a look at who Nikki is. And she seems like she's kind of one of those girls who's like those like ball buster types, you know? She's always like, ha, bitch can't handle all this. I've never met a guy who can keep up with me. And then they just lay there like SpongeBob.
Pretty ballsy to say that Nikki lies there in bed like SpongeBob when she was forced to lie there in bed like SpongeBob when she got assaulted by Bear.
Also, again, somewhat ironic, but earlier Bear was like, you want me to be mean to her? Why would I do that? But then she's literally doing the same thing to him right now, and it's clearly working, so...
Once again, a girl and a boy can have a conversation with each other without it being flirting. And the reason why they're being playfully mean to each other is because Bear and Nikki are friends.
But more importantly, so here we get a look into the dynamics of the whole friend group, okay? So Ian is kind of like a douche, right? Nikki seems like one of those girls who's one of the guys, you know? And Bear has a huge crush on Nikki, even though Sarah over here is clearly into Bear on some level, and he just, like, doesn't notice, doesn't care. So Bear's choices are Crystal Mommy or Septum Girl, so like, this dude never stood a chance.
Yeah, it's really exhausting seeing these characters drawn like this, as well as being described in ways that don't really apply to them whatsoever.
Just not happy there.
I mean, it's just a job, Nikki.
Yeah, well, I want to write.
Oh, a Crystal Mommy and a writer. Well, something tells me this movie would have gone the same way for Bear, whether he made the wish or not.
Okay, so I can't really tell when he's being serious because he says everything as if it were a joke. But he's basically saying that Nikki has always been crazy from the start because she wants to write, she owns crystal necklaces, and she's playfully mean with her friends. I don't really get his logic whether he was joking or not.
Do you like me?
I think we're good friends.
Okay, I'll be honest, this is probably the only time I'll ever agree to Alex Meyers during this review. Because let's be real, why didn't he just say yes?
Why?
My dad's dying.
And you know, to Bear's credit, he's not immediately jumping at the chance to take advantage of her or whatever. Like, he gives her privacy and space. He doesn't want to make it weird. He turns around when she takes her shirt off.
Yes, let's give it up for someone who does the bare minimum at the start and then immediately takes advantage of her later in the movie.
Like, based on what people were saying about this movie online, I expected Bear to be this, like, horribly angry, misogynistic incel dude, right? But, like, up until this point, he's just some super socially awkward loser who has a crush on a girl.
Dude, there's a reason why this character isn't like this. Yeah, he's a normal-looking guy who does normal-looking things on surface. But that's because the movie wants to show that even the most normal-looking guys can still be evil through his actions and what he thinks. If he were a more obviously evil person instead of a socially anxious guy who slowly reveals his true nature as the film goes on, then this movie would be so fucking boring and so much less realistic.
Obviously, things get different later on, but at least up to this point, Bear has, like, no idea that the wishing willow worked. And again, to his credit, the very next day, he immediately tells Ian that he thinks something's wrong with Nikki. Like he seems genuinely concerned.
Yes, Bear did tell Ian, but he leaves out a lot of important details. Which ones, you might ask? The fact that he made a wish.
Now, I've seen a lot of people saying that this part is showing how Bear's trying to make Nikki seem crazy to other people or whatever, but, like, again, he has no way of knowing that the toy works. Like, why would he think it did? You know what I'm saying? Like, it was $7.
Oh, I don't know. It's probably because of how Nikki acts noticeably out of character from how she was before the wish was made, and the number of times Nikki would snap back into reality and freak out.
What the fuck?
Okay, see, this is my point. Like, given the circumstances, Bear's being pretty normal about this, okay? Given what he does and does not know by this point in the movie, like, he could have slept with her, or he could have taken some kind of advantage of her, but he was rather gentlemanly at the time.
What the does that mean, Kobe Bryant?
I know you like me, Bear.
Why do you like me?
Would it freak you out if I said yes?
And thus begins their relationship. They start dating, hanging out, kissing, doing the devil's tango.
Devil's Tango, huh? That's a funny way of saying Nikki got raped. Okay, I know I'm bringing up this scene a lot, but it's way more significant than I think Alex realizes. It was the scene that they hard cut to after Bear realizes that the wish worked, and him accepting the fact that Nikki's love for him is not authentic. But that doesn't matter to him because he doesn't want to date Nikki. He wants to date what his idea of dating Nikki would be like.
Then why does it matter?
Doesn't matter to me.
And therefore, the real Nikki is suffering from this. But yeah, Devil's Tango.
No.
What?
No, 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 don't say that! I thought we were having a nice day!
Okay, see, Bear, I don't know why you're making this face. You wanted the Crystal Mommy Latina experience, and you got the Crystal Mommy Latina experience.
Can you stop saying Crystal Mommy Latina? Like, I'm not even convinced that you know what any of those words mean.
Now, okay, up to this point, I feel like Bear has plausible deniability. I mean, there's no way he would have known the cheap toy would work. He was genuinely concerned for Nikki the day after it started, and he refused to take advantage of her even when it was, like, presented to him, right? I mean, she kissed him after all, right?
Okay, so in the movie, they chalk this whole situation up to her being on drugs. And people who are on drugs can't even consent. So don't even give me this, oh, up to this point, Bear was actually a good guy for doing the bare minimum, and she kissed him first. He's not a good guy in any context, so stop treating him like one.
Now, right here, though, at the halfway point of the movie, he does finally start to realize that the wish actually worked. But, like, even then, like, literally every rom-com is about trying to find a way to get the other person to like you, or you manufacture a meet cute or whatever, right?
Oh my god, there he goes with this rom-com shit again. Yeah, I know that Bear and Nikki become a couple within this movie, but instead of saying how he truly feels, Bear decides to make a wish that forces Nikki into a relationship, even though Nikki did not see him in that kind of way. For example, he can even bother to learn anything from her or what she values.
So it's a romance.
No, it's not a romance, it's a love story.
Isn't that the same thing?
And of course, the Hansel and Gretel poem that she reads off.
A love only the branch of a willow tree could conjure.
And yeah, this is still fucking scary. This is not romantic. This is not love. If you wanted something romantic, just watch 27 Dresses or something like that.
But like he didn't wish that she would do whatever he wanted, or I wish that she would become obsessed with me and me only. He specifically wished that Nikki would love him more than anyone.
Yeah, more than anyone in the world, including herself.
Which is literally what everyone who has ever had a crush wants.
Sure, wanting your crush to like you back is one thing, and it sucks when it doesn't happen, but it's whatever. But forcing your crush into a relationship and ruining her life in the process is what Bear is doing.
Like every single fanfic about like, golly gee, I sure wish One Direction would kidnap me and fall in love with me all at the same time. Like as if half the girls who saw this movie haven't wished the exact same thing before.
Oh, that's just great. More stereotypes about women being crazy. Isn't that just lovely?
If Bear had gone to the store specifically and been like, hey, do you have something that'll force a girl to fall in love with me? Or if he like searched on the internet for some kind of like weird ritual that's gonna make anyone fall in love with you, then yeah, that's some funky stuff, man.
Again, Bear doesn't need to be this over the top to prove to everyone that he's evil. We can clearly see that with his selfishness and carelessness towards Nikki.
I'm not saying Bear is a blameless, innocent victim, okay? But I think some of you are a little too quick to attach motivation and subtext to this character that is not based on the movie.
Okay, with the amount of bullshit that Alex spits out throughout this video, he does actually somewhat make a good point with this. I've seen a few people online say stuff like, oh, Bear actually killed his cat because he wanted to win the affection from Nikki. It's like, come on, that's ridiculous. Bear is evil, but he's not that inherently evil.
Like, it really seems like some of you want him to be a horrible, incel, intentionally malicious guy, regardless of what actually happens in the movie.
He is, though.
Even the guy who played Bear himself said this about the character. I never thought of Bear as a villain, but what really drew me to this story was the gray morals of it all. Bear has good in him and has bad in him, like all of us. I do think that he leans more toward the bad in a lot of ways. Fully the antagonist, though? I don't think I would say fully, because the key thing is he didn't know that the wish was going to work. Sure, his desires were incredibly selfish, totally, 100%, but he didn't know the wish was going to
I love how he conveniently does not highlight the part of this excerpt that literally proves him wrong.
work. And you have to assume that this guy was in close talks with the writer-director of the movie the whole time. So basically, both of them are saying that Bear is meant to be ambiguous, and you all are just over here like, nyah.
Again, he's supposed to be a normal-looking dude, which makes it more shocking and more interesting when he reveals where his true values lie.
Like, are you all equally upset about the Disney Channel original movie Zapped or 16 Wishes? Because fundamentally, these are all the same movie.
Okay, so I can't say that I've ever seen Zapped or 16 Wishes, but I can imagine that by the end of both of those movies that they likely end with a message, and that message is don't control people. And Bear just did not learn that lesson at all. Even with the scene where he's trying to kill himself, he tries to throw up the pills to stop him from overdosing.
I found this comment in a Reddit thread that puts it so perfectly, so I'm just gonna read part of it. But remember, this sub attracts the most obsessed fans of the movie.
I'm not even going to be bothered to hear this Reddit post being read by Alex Meyers of all people, so I'm just going to skip.
Is her love real?
Just because you chose this for her doesn't make it less real.
Okay, then I would like to cancel.
You gotta love the amount of times where Alex has to edit around the shitty actions of Bear in order to defend him. Alex makes it seem like Bear initially called to cancel the wish, but in reality, Bear initially called to change his wish.
Calling to see if there's a way I can alter a wish?
You'd like to cancel your wish?
No. It's okay to keep the... I just want to know if I can, like, alter it a little.
Because at this point in the movie, he knows the wish worked, and he knows the real Nikki's soul is like trapped or whatever, but he keeps on dating her and tries to like continue on as if this isn't the most horrible situation anyone could imagine. Although, to be fair, what is he supposed to do? Because if he breaks up with her, she's gonna hunt him down. And the only other choice, as we learn, is that the spell will break if he dies.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. If he actually loved her, he would have probably gone through with it. No, if he actually loved her, he probably would have cared enough and respected her to not make this wish in the first place.
Just kill me.
Now, this is another part I've seen so many posts about that I find so baffling. Like, I've literally seen people say, like, if Bear truly loved Nikki, he would have killed her when she asked. Cause, like, it's just that easy, you know? And then what? He goes to prison for life? Obviously, he doesn't want to do that.
Let's be real. If I was Nikki in this scenario, I'd want the same thing, because it's clear that Bear was too selfish to kill himself, so why would Nikki want to keep on living if she's gonna suffer? I think this is the main problem with this review. He never sees it through Nikki's perspective, and he always wonders what's gonna happen to Bear. Like, Nikki asks Bear to end her suffering, and Alex over here is like, oh, but what about Bear? Bear is evil!
What would be so bad? What's so bad about being with me?
Okay, Bear, see, I was trying to be fair, okay? And then you go and you say that, like maybe everyone's right about you, you know?
Oh my god, guys. I think he's trying to catch up.
But this also brings up another interesting thematic element of the movie, I guess, which is like people are saying, you know, if he truly loved Nikki, then he would do this incredibly selfless thing for her. But remember, his wish was not that Nikki would become obsessed with him. He wished that she would love him. So why isn't her love for him as selfless as you're claiming that his love for her should be?
It's because he wished that Nikki loved him more than anyone, and Bear just does not love her to that degree. And this obsession originates from Bear's shallow idea of romance as well.
Now again, I need to be very clear here, okay? Ultimately, Bear is the bad guy. He doesn't know what he did until late in the movie, but when he figures it out, he just keeps on rationalizing to himself because, like, he wants Nikki, and he doesn't seem to really care that she's being tortured the whole time, but rather he wants the demon to just act like Nikki so that he can pretend that he's actually dating Nikki.
Alex claims that Bear wasn't always the bad guy in this movie, at least from the start. But how many moments from this movie did he have to edit out or forget to mention in order to make this statement functional? Well, let's count. The fact that he would have hooked up with Nikki if she didn't freak out. When he searches up if the One Wish Willow actually worked. The scene where Bear has to lie to Ian about making a wish because even he knew that it would make him look shitty. The scene where Bear asks if it can alter his wish. The fact that Bear would have cheated on Nikki with Sarah. The scene where Bear assaults Nikki. The fact that Bear only decided to kill himself after things got really, really bad. Except he almost didn't kill himself because he was so close to throwing up the pills if it wasn't for Nikki's wish. That's 7 scenes that you had to leave out in order to make Bear seem like a rational good guy, even though Bear was always the villain, even from the start. Okay, so that was Alex Meyers' review of Obsession. That might be one of the worst reviews I've ever seen. With the amount of important story beats that he fails to bring up, how badly he misinterprets literally everything in the movie, the way he presents the characters, and the fact that he claims that Bear wasn't always the bad guy, when there were so many details even before he made the wish that kind of prove otherwise, but whatever. It's not a good review. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Deuces.